Hey, challengers, it's your girl, Rack Famous Star. I am back again. Hopefully you guys have been liking my videos. I see a small following, which is great. Please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. It really helps me out. So let's go ahead and get in with it. I'm really liking this season so far. Like I said, David could kick rocks. I didn't like him from the first time he played, but that's another thing. David's there. Anyways, so this last episode, Cashel and Tiffany were eliminated because James and Kayla had won. It was the bike thing, right? And they got put in by Tyson and Justine. Tyson had won his second competition. I was like, Tyson, you could slow down. You really don't need to win. Tyson doesn't need to win the next, two before he needs to start winning again. He's already qualified. He's already showed himself as a deemable threat. I think he just doesn't need to be last. That's what I think. But, You know what I've wondered? If when they are going to start going from 2 partners to maybe partners of 4. So, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10... 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. It wouldn't be next week because there would be 22 people left, which just seems like that's a lot of people. There's 22 people left. Only 6 people have gone home. I'm like, are we going to have some double eliminations? Are we going to have teams of 4 going in? Imagine. Teams of 4 going in. That's what they need to do. They need to have, probably when they get down to 20, have teams of 4 go in. I bet you. Actually, I don't bet, but maybe. So let's keep going. So I thought it was interesting. I should have done this calculation off camera, but there's still the 3 amazing racers left. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 Love Islanders. There's Big Brother. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Big Brothers, which seems like a lot. But they started with 9. I think the only person that's gone home from Big Brother is Tiffany, right? And then Survivor, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 survivors at this time. So it's evening out as far as the Big Brothers and Survivor people go. But this episode, I was literally on the edge of my seat the whole time. So James knows that he's like, you cannot underestimate anyone, which is true. Anyone can go in there and win. Anyone can go in there and lose. I do think that James has also not shown himself as the best competitor. I think he is a good competitor, but these types of challenges are not the greatest for him. I think he's a lot better at those mental challenges. And it also helped when he was on Amazing Race, he had a male partner. Him, the 2 males, they're gonna do well. So I don't know. But I think James has done pretty good overall, but not the greatest. I just don't think this is his show. So let's keep going. Amazing Race is severely outnumbered. I did not think when they said 28 players, I was like, oh cool, it's 7, 7, 7 and 7, but I was like, how are they gonna get 7 amazing racers? That's a lot of amazing racers, because a lot of amazing racers aren't necessarily still a lot of them have families, a lot of them are not wanting to do this type of stuff. So the fact that they found 3, I think they could have gotten all 3 of their partners maybe to get 6, but then it would have been their partners, I'm not sure who they would have gotten on Amazing Race, truly, besides their partners. But yeah, I don't know why I paused so long. So James is looking for a home with the survivors because he's hey, they would have more capability in this game than the Big Brother people, because the Big Brother people are good, but I think the Big Brother people thrive on the silly games, but a lot of the Big Brother people are in really good shape. They have been able to quit their jobs and made a living off of social media and looking great and being in good shape. So I think they have an edge up there. I wish they would have brought back some of my challenge people. Like, y'all know, I don't love Wes. Like, I don't have a crush on him or anything, but I just think he's so funny. So whenever I see him on a season, I'm like, yes, Wes. But anyways, let's keep going. Do y'all like Wes? Comment below if you like Wes. I know he's very controversial. Whenever I used to watch with my sister, she was like, oh, he's back. And I'm like, yes, he's back. So, I feel like me and Wes would get along very well. So, Cash and Cinco, it seems like, now I know she's not, because I follow her on social media, and this could be for the gram, but it seems like she's like hung up on him. But I couldn't imagine being in the house with my ex. I'd be hung up on him too. Like, I mean, he'd be hung up on me, but that's not the point. But like, she seems like she will let it go if it's supposed to be let go. But like, I bet you if Cinco came back up in there and was like, hey baby, she'd be like, yes, you know. So I don't know what's up with that, but she seems like at least now is over it. But I do hope they get back together. I thought they were very cute. I kind of hope I have a chance with Cinco, but I know I don't. One, he's all the way in freaking like DC. I think he lives in DC. And I'm not doing that. So I don't even care if he's younger. I think he's probably like 26, 27 now. That's okay with me. I'm okay with that. So Tyson and Angela are still tight. They're still tight. They're talking quite a bit. People are catching up on this, but there's not really much they can do, because you can see it all you want, but if you can't make things happen, then it doesn't matter, right? So the challenge that they have coming up is called Hang On Man. And I thought this was interesting, but I thought it was kind of like weird how the first person ended up getting out. So it was kind of like Hangman, where they first had to run all the way across and they had to get these ladders, these like steps for these ladders, and then they had to run back. So there were 12 pieces, so they each had to make 6 trips. And it seemed pretty far for people that aren't used to running, which I would suggest that if you know you are going on the challenge, I don't care how much time or notice that you have, you get your ass on the treadmill. You get your ass on the treadmill and you start with like, you know what, I'm going to start running to at least prepare for like a 5K. You know, like you run way more than that. And I'm sure it's hot, you have all this equipment on, whatever. But baby, you think you about to just not run, or like, I'm gonna power through? No, you about to throw up a lung, you know? So I don't know why I don't see more people running. I'd be running every day. Maybe not every day, but a couple of times a week, at least 5. But that's just me. So they had to run and build their staircase. The staircase is like a puzzle. So it's not like, I was like, boom. Well, once you're done, you just boom, 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 you know, all the way up to 12. But they had also these other ridges. So they had to line it up. And that took some time, especially if you weren't paying attention, because they weren't just going to slide in. So once they got their 12 pieces, I think just one person went up. It might have been both of them just to get that one person settled. But so one person goes up for sure, grabs this like pole, and it's kind of like the hangman, which is kind of cool. And they have these like ropes hanging off the pole. And so what their partner has to do is like, oh no, their partner does go up there. So they go up there and they look at a stack of letters to try to guess what their phrase is. And first I was like, everyone's going at the same time. Everyone's phrase can't be the same, because once that person guesses E, I'm gonna guess E, even if I didn't guess E first, you know. So, but all of their phrases were different. I would have just guessed. I wonder, like, if you would have guessed and been wrong, what was the penalty? It probably was another bag, so you're probably like saving your words, you know. So they ran back to where they collected the puzzle pieces. they said like A, and then there'd be like a Vanna White behind the screen, you know, not visible, like flipping over, producers just flipping it over, right? And so they'd run back, see what other letters they need, and then try it again. Now, if they were right, no penalty. If they were wrong, then they had to pick up a 10-pound sandbag, just one, run back and clip to their partner. Their partner has two sides. So now you have one side with 10 pounds on it. Like, I'd be like, hurry up and get one wrong. Like, I'd be like, guess Z. Like, I mean, don't guess Z, but like, hurry up, because it's one side. Just like, I feel like you have a better chance of like whoop immediately, if not sooner, with just one side on 10 pounds, right? So that would have been me. I would have been like, don't put me up there, do not put me up there, I'm gonna run my ass off, do not put me up there. But I don't know, I did think some of the strategies were different. I did not write down who was where. I do remember some partner pairs, but like, I thought more men should have been on the pole in my mind. But what do I know? But then again, some people probably like, I know I have a friend that whenever we do like workouts and it has to do with balance, she's like, oh, my balance sucks. And so some people like just don't have good balance or don't believe in their balance. I feel like my balance is good, but I don't feel like I'm that strong. I feel like I would try, but I don't know. So I think that was hilarious, which plenty of people are probably going to talk about this. When Tyson was standing next to his partner, Alyssa. And I'll go over the partners in a minute, but Tyson was like, yeah, like some people are like, oh yeah, one time I biked 12 miles. Guess what? That's not even a warm up. Alyssa starts busting up laughing, right? And then she was like, that was me. And he was like, oh my God, that was you. Like, oh, Tyson. Like, and he was like, guess what, Alyssa? That's not even a warm up. It felt very like when you text the person that you were talking about, what you like, you'd be like, oh my God, look at Sheila's skirt. Like, this may or may not have been me, but like, this is just an example. But you're like, or you're like, look, Sheila's shoes are so ugly. But I don't know. This is very mean. I'm not this mean. But then you accidentally text Sheila and you say, Sheila's shoes are so ugly. Then you realize, oh my God, I texted Sheila. And so you're like, like, so I thought this was so funny. It just reminded me of those days. I might have done this a time or two. I've never texted Sheila about her shoes being ugly, but along those lines, you know, you screenshot something about like, oh my God, and you send it to that person, and so now they have a screenshot of what you were, and you're like, I'm so sorry. Like, that's all you can say, right? So the partner pairs in this case, I wrote them down. We had David and Shannon, so Big Brother and Love Island, Kylan and Alyssa, not Kylan, it's like Kylan and Angela, Derek and Shan, Ben and Kira, Enzo and Desi, Dom and Cache. Then we have Danny and Azza, Xavier and Kayla, Tyson and Alyssa, which I was like, Tyson and Alyssa, you're not gonna win, Tyson, but you might not lose. Cinco and Sarah, which I was like, yeah. And Leo and Justine, I was like, oh, I'm a little worried for you guys. Then we have James and Tasha, which I was like, ooh, Tasha's a powerhouse. Let's do this. But Tasha also I don't think she's physically, I think she's strong, but I don't think she's physically where she needs to be. Now, I loved Tasha on both her seasons. She was one of my favorite players. When she first played and she got all the way to the end, I was like, dang, Tasha, you looking good. And then she gained on her way back. Not that it was about weight, but I love Tasha. She was one of my favorite players. Like, just seeing her on TV, I wanted her to win so bad. I wanted her to win both times she played. If she plays again, I'm still going to be Team Tasha. So don't come for me. But, so I thought it was interesting. This is the first time we've seen non-heats. Like, everyone's going at once. And Tyson and Angela seem to still be working together. Like, I said this before, but they seem to still be working together. So they have to go back and forth, and everyone's phrase is like, there was like flutes in Finland, candles. I thought it was candies, but candles in Canada. It was things like that they had, like flutes from Finland, candles from Canada. It was things like that. So their phrases were all pretty similar. That's why I was like, how are they going to do this? Like, I was so confused, but I liked how it turned out. And so Kylan and Angela ended up winning. Now, before that, Tasha and James ended up losing. So they were out almost immediately because they were already late to get the stair up. They were probably last or second or last, probably last. And then James gets one wrong. I think he gets like a couple right, but then gets one wrong and goes to clip his 10-pound weight onto her. And he was like, here it comes. And she must have not been ready or just been ready and that weight hit the mat. So they were out. I was like, dang, Tasha. Tasha was strong. I would think Tasha's like an ox, but apparently not. So they were out, and so they were in, because if you or your weight touched the mat, you were gone. So they have the winner-loser chat. And thing is, before this, they were talking about so many possibilities that they think could go up. They were like, Dom and Cachet could go in. Tasha and James, well, they were already in. Well, anyways. Leo and Justine were a possibility. And so when they have the winner-loser chat, Kylan and Angela had won. James and Taylor are talking with them. And they were like, okay, so obviously we're not going to throw out any Big Brother names. So here are some possibilities. So we have Dom and Cash. We have Justine and Leo. And then we have Sarah and Cinco. Now, they were like, we're not really feeling Sarah and Cinco, because Sarah and Cinco would probably, at least if it's like anything muscular or physical, would beat them. So I feel like they were a little like scared. Not scared, but like not feeling it. So it really comes down between Dom and Cachet and Justine and Leo. Now, Dom, which was annoying to me, like I would be like, oh God. But like at the same time, you can't control what other people are going to do. You can only control what you are going to do. These are grown adults. You can't, as much as you want to tell them what to do, you have to let people die on their own sword. That's what I've learned as an adult. As much as I want to be like, girl, do not do that, or like, that's a dumb idea, you can't. You have to let people experience their own dumbness, and then maybe they learn. So Dom is telling everyone he wants to go in, or that he's ready. And Cash is like, basically like, shut it. Like, she doesn't say shut it, but she was like, you can't be doing that. And he was like, thanks for telling me, very condescending. Thanks for telling me how to play. I love Dom. I love Cash. I think Dom should have won Ghost Island. Sorry if I spoiled this for anybody, but I like Cash. I follow her on social media. But when she was like, yeah, maybe you should like cool it with that, telling people that you want to go in because I'm tied to you. And he like laughs it off and was like, thanks for telling me, and like, basically walks off. And she was like, okay, I'm serious, but whatever. And later on, Leo, he finds out that, I think James tells him, like, because he was like, well, Justine has all that money and Leo's with Justine. So Leo finds out, he's pretty hurt that James said his name, because the three Amazing Racers, it's just the three of them. They're trying to be thick as thieves, and they're supposed to stay strong. And so I would be hurt too. And yeah, I don't know, I would be pretty hurt. But at the same time, well, I think it's different in this case. I think I wouldn't be that hurt in Big Brother if somebody said my name, because it's like, look, I'm saying people's names too. You think I wouldn't want to, I don't know. I think it's stupid in Big Brother, and they're like, you said my name. I'm like, so I'd say somebody. But anyways, so the arena is called Plug and Play. Let me just tell you how it is, but before I give you the players. So Plug and Play, basically they start on top of the container. I think both of them start. One jumps in and into the water, and there's like 14 like blocks or like peg things and shapes, and they throw them out to the partner, and the partner goes down the little fire pole, and TJ pulls a lever like the second they jump in, and when he pulls the lever, it unplugs the water, and water is spilling out. And so, but it's like a time against time thing where it's not just they have to hold their breath and go in the water. The water is going down, and there's a line on both of theirs that if that water goes below the line, no matter where you are DQ'd, the other team wins. So you have to try to stop your stopper and or stack your blocks high enough before your water goes out. So we know that James and Tasha are in, and Dom and Cash get chosen by, who was it? Kylan and Angela, which is not surprising because they practically threw themselves. Well, Dom did on the train tracks. So it was funny because I don't think many people were like, Dom, you're okay. Hold on. Dom and Cache they're very strong-minded. I think Dom is more outspoken. Cash is also younger than him, is not just going to, I think she's younger than him, is not just going to be rude to people. I think she's not that type of person to just be like, this is what we should do, like, even though she may have a better idea. So she was thinking that she should go in the water because she takes up less space, and that would be more water to be in the container. And Dom was like, no. And she was like, okay, well, if this is wrong, if we end up losing, play this back and be in my DMs and tell me I was right. I was like, girl, I'm here for you. I was ready. So as the water's going down, James also decides to go in for his team. He has goggles on, he's ready. As the water's going down, James, from time to time, he takes some time and kind of plugs up the pipe. And so it's preventing not as much water, because if you are just not plugging it, that water is like splashing out. And so Dom, it's like almost as if he doesn't see it, or is just like doesn't realize that the water is going down and out. And he doesn't give a damn about that pipe. I don't know if anyone was like, Dom, the pipe. But he does not give a damn. He's just like, At one time, the water is like chest. He can stand up. He doesn't have to float anymore or put his head down. I'm like, sit on it, Dom. Sit on it. Put your foot on it. Something. No, he does not. But, which I don't think sitting on it was the best option, because the suction, I think, you'd have a big old bruise on your butt. But he's just standing up, like staring at Cash, like, And there was a time where it started to get low, and she was stacking them, and they fell. And by the grace of God, they had like an inch or two of water before, probably like 30 more seconds. Like if it would have fell again, they would have been out. But they had an inch or two of water before they hit that line. And Cash and Dom win, and Cash gets it on, all 14 of them. And James and Tasha are eliminated. And when they asked, like TJ was like, y'all barely won. And Dom was like, I forgot. Like, I didn't even think. I'm like, my dude, like, the water is going down and out. How? The pipe that's in your container. So, I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I would have been like, thank God. If I was Cash, I thank God I'd never have to be partners with him again. But that wraps up this episode. I'm excited for next week. There is going to be 22 players left in the house. They've got to have some sort of double elimination at least twice this season. I'm thinking one more episode of 2 people going out, then they'll be down to 20. Then there'll be something where they have teams of 4. One team of 4 will be safe. One team of 4 will be in elimination because they lost. And that'll be 3 more teams of 4 that will be up to be chosen to compete against the team of 4. That's what I'm thinking. That's another way to get 4 people out and have not as many episodes. But I'm liking it so far. It's a lot. It's a lot. This is a good season. I don't know how a season 2 would turn out, but they are getting more survivors. They're getting more slowly but surely amazing racers. I hope they have another season. They are, of course, getting more Big Brother players, and they're getting more Love Islanders. So they get more people all the time. So I'm excited. Please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know if you guys like this episode. Any thoughts that you had? Do you have any favorites? Do you have any dislikes, non-favorites? I don't know. But thanks so much for watching. Bye, challengers. See you next week.